What's good, guys? This is Knowledge. I am Tuesday's stud Butch for the Butch Film discussion. And this week's topic is going to be talking about our coming out stories. As you all know, we're right on the heels of the National Coming Out Day, which was October 11th, just this past Sunday. And it was also the day of the Equality March, which took place in Washington, which was a big success. We had a big turnout, and I think we had a bigger turnout than the Tea Party baggers that had their march a little while back. So that was great. I enjoyed the speeches, and it was just a wonderful atmosphere, and it's a great time to be gay in this country. Um, Here's my story, and please bear with me because I wrote this down because I didn't want to be talking all over the place today like I did with my last two videos. I want to stay on track, so we're going to try this out for this week. Basically, my coming out experience was a fairly easy one in relation to a lot of gays and lesbians who deal with far worse than simply mediocre reactions and the backlash that I dealt with. At this point in my life, I am 100% out of the closet. I first came out at the age of 18. I believe I was 18 at the time. I remember writing a letter to one of my best friends and just basically getting it off my chest. I told her that I was a lesbian and that I was always a lesbian. I just never had the courage to tell anyone up until that point. So she was the very first person. When I got my response back from her, I was very surprised and I was touched by her acceptance. And she made a promise to continue supporting me as her friend and confidant. Her exact words to me, actually, you could be in love with a car muffler and I would still love you. So I am grateful that she was the first person that I had the privilege of coming out to. It would be another 7 to 8 years before my sexuality would again be addressed by my family and I. I was outed by someone I considered a family friend. She told my mom I was a lesbian, and for the next 2 months, my mom and I had an extremely volatile relationship. It was very rocky. I also, the relationship with my older sister and I changed dramatically at that time as well because she had a hard time, I guess, just coming to the realization that yes, indeed, I was a lesbian and that there was no way that everyone should come out in their own time when they're ready. Um, I don't regret that my family knows about my sexuality or knew about it at the time that I was outed, but I definitely did regret in the manner in which it happened at the time. It took away stripped me of my power to do so. So basically, my family's knowledge of my sexuality, it was a burden that had been lifted off my shoulders either way. So the coming out process was just that. It was a process. And I think that for some time I tried to take the easy route and let people either figure it out or just, you know, let them eventually ask me about my sexuality. And that, I guess that works for some people. And at the time, I really wasn't ready to deal with any of the ramifications that came with telling somebody who, has negative feelings towards gays and lesbians about myself, and really not knowing how to deal with that and really not having the support um, that is really needed when you're dealing with a lot of backlash from homosexuality in general. So when I started dating women, I had no knowledge of the different kind of lesbians or the self-identity of a select handful that came into play. I dated a fellow butch at a time. I believe it was right after I had dated my first girlfriend, who happened to be bisexual. She was a femme, but she wasn't better made. The fabric lasts longer. It's the quality is exceeds that of women's clothing quality. I mean, any excuse that I could come up with, and I just stopped making excuses. I wear them because They're comfortable on me, and I just prefer it. Period. So that happened, and at the time I was officially comfortably out for the first time. And I was comfortable in the clothes that I was wearing. I was comfortable in my skin, and I just felt that, and I still feel this way now, that there was, and there still is no such thing as being too out. There is no such thing, and to apply those kind of strict parameters to anybody in the gay and lesbian community, it's wrong. Um, it's just as bad as outing someone, and it's just as bad as trying to force someone to come out to their family or their friends or what have you. It's wrong, in my opinion. Um, so that that was something that was very striking to me. I think that for the most part, that the negativity that's met when we make drastic changes is due to the other individual's discomfort, with their own self, their own insecurity. Insecurity is a bitch. It is. I mean, if someone is happy, what other reason would you have to be unhappy for them? You know, within the community itself, my experience as a butch has been a relatively good one, despite the fact that there's a lot of backlash against labels in general, particularly in reference to the butch femme identities. I think that being butch femme within the LGBTQ community means overcoming misconceptions, adversity, bigotry, and redefining identities, redefining ourselves, defining what it means to be us within the context of the butch femme dynamic, which I think is totally fine to do. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm positive that most of the backlash is due to some of the most illogical reasoning ever. We're giving a bad representation of the lesbian community and lesbian relationships in general. The all too similar appearances of butches reveling in their masculinity, which it's not that we're reveling in our masculinity. It's just the fact that we're comfortable with it. It's, we're out, we're proud, it's there. And so why not be proud of it? It's not that we're trying to showboat or flaunt it. It's just, we want it. So thanks for listening, and have a good one. Peace out, guys.